This episode of the Bad Crypto Podcast is brought to you by eToro. Get a $100,000 virtual currency portfolio to test your mad trading skills and find out how to get some free Bad Coin socks. Visit badco.in/eToro for details. Crypto giants are coming together to rate coins. The number of crypto wallets is at an all-time high. John McAfee is still standing by his $1 million Bitcoin prediction, and gold seems to be currently preferred over Bitcoin as a safe haven for concerned investors. The SEC has settled their charges with Block.one, and Libra moves forward, but some participants are beginning to question their involvement. And it is game on as Travis and myself go head-to-head in a friendly crypto investing competition. What happens next? Well, you'll have to tune in and find out on our Bad News episode number 316 of the Bad Crypto Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
And welcome to the Bad Crypto Podcast. If you're trying to figure out how to tune in to the show, well, you already have. It's not like a radio dial. You just go to your podcast player and hit play, and you are tuned in. I'm Joel Comm.
I'm Travis Wright, and you're listening to 107.4. You're not.
The sounds of Bitcoin. Oh, so smooth.
KBTC.
Spinning stacks and stacks of hot Doge all day long.
Stacks and stats of sats.
I'm stacking sats on my coin miner, Mr. Travis Wright.
Yeah, I think we both are.
I pulled up my coin mine one. I'll just pull it up right now. Timestamp October 3rd, 12:15 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I have mined on my coin mine one $3.42 worth of Ethereum, 41,945 sats.
Very nice. Congratulations, Mr. Joel Comm. It's very exciting.
Stacking
you know what?
sats.
If those stats become more, if Bitcoin becomes worth $1 million, those stats will be worth a nice little chunk. Because there's 100 million Satoshis in a Bitcoin. So, very nice.
Something like that. Yeah.
I got 33,000 sats
as long as
I got mine after you.
Yeah, catch up.
Well, you got yours first and then immediately opened it and put it in, and I didn't get mine till the next day.
Mine faster.
Gosh.
Get the hamsters running on the wheels there.
Right on, and our show sponsor this episode is eToro. The best way to be smart about trading crypto is to use the smartest trading platform. That's why we love to tell you about eToro, one of the largest trading platforms in the world with over $1 trillion in trading volume on the platform per year, which is a lot. That's a lot of zeros. And U.S. customers can trade with the most popular crypto assets. There's 15 different cryptos in there you can trade, and very low fees. And what's cool about it is you can actually follow 11 million different eToro traders. You can find the ones that are doing the best, and you can discuss trading and chart, and you can actually copy their trades, which is pretty cool. So create an account today. You can do it at badco.in. That spells Badcoin, badco.in/eToro. And if you do that and sign up and deposit at least $50 and get yourself your first position, we'll send you a pair of Bad Crypto socks, Bad Coin socks that say Bad Crypto on them. Very handsome, very red, very black, very nice.
Much crypto. Excite. Yeah, so for as long as they last, and we are running out of them. Also, Mr. Travis Wright and I have begun a friendly competition using eToro. We've each got $1,500 that we deposited into our accounts, and we are investing individually, and the goal here is to see who can make the best investments on the platform.
That's true. And that's what's really cool about, not only can you follow Bad Crypto in our little friendly competition, but as I mentioned, you can follow a lot of these other top traders, and they have top traders. You can see their risk, and you can see how, good they are. And actually, we have a great interview coming up with Mati Greenspan, who is their lead research analyst. He'll be coming up in I believe it's coming out next week. And you're going to want to tune into that because he's done very well on trading, and he understands how it all works. And so we talked to him about the platform in general, but very good. And
I don't know about you, Travis, but I'm already down. I'm down $27 on my investment. I'm at $14.73 right now.
Congratulations. I'm at $14.41. Crypto market goes up, crypto market goes down.
All right, well, let's go to the news. Timestamp 12:18 on October 3rd, Mountain Standard Time. CoinGecko.com. The market cap is sad. 217 billion almost. Bitcoin 81.45. Ethereum 173. XRP 24.5 cents. Bitcoin Cash almost 220. Tether a buck. Litecoin just shy of 56. EOS 292. Binance Coin 1550. Bitcoin SV 82. And rounding out the top 10 is Cardano at 3.7 centavos.
I'm rounding out the top 11 is Stellar at 5.8 cents, which seems really low for Stellar to me. It's like, wow, it's like they have gone up 4% over the last week. And if you look at the top 11, that's the biggest winner. I mean, everything is down this last 7 days. This is like $8,100 for Bitcoin. Like last episode, wasn't it around 10,000? Did it had it dumped yet?
Well, yeah, it dumped. Well, last week it tanked while we were doing the show. It dropped from like 9,400 to 8,400. There was that flash crash.
Oh yeah. Well, we apologize for that. That was our fault. We did that.
I did not do that. I did announce it, but
it's fine.
So, where's the market going and why is this happening? Why is it happening? Well, I don't know if we care too much about what anybody at JP Morgan says, but there's an analyst there at JP Morgan, and he believes that Bakkt is responsible for the flash crash because it has fallen 20% from 10,026 to as low as what, about $7,800?
Yeah, well, it was teetering with that 10,000 there for a while. It just kept bouncing back off of it, but it wasn't taken up. It wasn't going towards 11,000 really. It was just kind of just bobbling there around 10,000. And then, and that keeps doing that every once in a while. It just seems like it's going to finally bust through and start tanking, and it's what it did. And the Bakkt thing, they were expecting, I think a lot of people were maybe expecting a lot more, people to jump on board and start investing in futures there with Bakkt. And so I think a lot of people were expecting that to sort of kick off. But right now there's only 54 Bitcoin is being traded, right? So $430,000. It's not much considering the amount of hype. And so it's been very underwhelming. And especially when you consider the futures that have been around since 2018, this is not much. So I think that it's been underwhelming, and maybe that's what kind of freaked out some people. But it looks like some whales did some selling too, so that might have been part of it. So you never really know. We just know that it's down right now, and hopefully it doesn't go much too far down.
Or some people might see that as a buying opportunity.
It's true. It could be. You know what? If you have the belief that crypto will be worth 100,000 or $1 million down the road, then $8,300 Bitcoin is bargain time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And meanwhile, we've got some of the big exchanges: Coinbase, Circle, Kraken, Bittrex, Grayscale, who I've not heard of, and some others. They're coming together to create the Crypto Rating Council, and the goal is so that they can evaluate and decide which assets can and cannot be traded on their platform.
Now, that might not be a bad idea, especially with, in America, where it's kind of hard for us to do some trading of some cryptos, and how the SEC and CFTC looks down on some of those currencies. So it does make sense that they maybe get together and say, hey, let's make sure that we have a certain standard for the coins that we list on our exchanges. And then again, maybe they don't like your crypto project, and so they collude against putting you on there. So depending on what side you're on, it could be good or bad, depending.
Well, what they're doing is they're creating a points-based rating system to help define whether a crypto is a security or not. And then they're giving the tokens a score of 1 to 5, with 1 meaning that the coin is not a traditional regulated security, and 5 meaning that it most likely is. So Bitcoin, Litecoin, Monero have a 1 rating. Ethereum is given a 2, and Ripple has been given a rating of 4. So people are like, security, whoop, 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 whoop,
whoop, whoop. And what's interesting about this system is that they're using a bunch of questions that were derived directly from the SEC and their case law. And so they've really been working hard to focus the framework on that. And so not, just arbitrarily coming up with questions and doing their own. They're actually pulling from the SEC to make sure that they are as close to the law as possible. So this should be pretty good for future cryptos.
So what is a week in Bitcoin without John McAfee? It's sad. Like he just adds so much to the space. And a writer for Forbes spoke with him recently, and McAfee put some tweets out last week, and he is still sticking by his 1 million by the end of 2020 prediction. And he's saying 50,000 this year.
That is crazy. Like, there's literally less than 3 months left of the year. Like, what planet is he on, and how long are the years in a McAfee year? Like, literally, universe. It's $8,000 right now. Do you really think it's going to hit $50,000 by December 31st? No. I've not seen any indication that it is going to skyrocket, that there's anything anywhere that's shown us anything that says that Bitcoin's going to hit 50,000 by the end of this year in less than 100 days.
Well, how quick was the run up before from 10,000 to 20,000? It happened in
that was just overnight.
A couple weeks.
That was like, it was just so quick. It was like, pop, 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 pop. It hit 5,000 and then hit 10 and then hit 15 and then hit 20 and then hit back down to 3,200.
Right. So, I mean, theoretically, it's possible. What sent Bitcoin before on that wild ride? There wasn't anything.
So much activity.
Yeah, but it wasn't like there's more. I bet you there's more volume being traded now than there was then.
So the number of cryptocurrency wallets have increased exponentially, says a Statista report. There's more than 40 million cryptocurrency wallets have been created as of mid-2019. So last time they did this check was in 2016, and there was only around 8 million. So the amount of wallets that have gone from mid-2016 to mid-2019 is 5x, 5 times as many wallets. That's a lot.
That is huge. I'd like to see this actual report. Is there a link to it somewhere?
Well, listen to this. What's crazy about it is the numbers from Statista's report are only based on the single crypto wallet provider, Blockchain.com. So Blockchain.com went from 8 million to 40 million, 5 times increase. But there's other wallets out there too.
There's a lot of wallets out there. And, between you and I, we have 1 million of them.
Coin Wallet has more than 20 million new Coin Wallets accounts have been opened. Who knows how many Coinbase accounts have been opened, how many eToro accounts have been opened. So, like, this number, if you think about that, then from just Blockchain's wallet, right, there could have been 100 million or more wallets opened up in the last 2-3 years.
I thought you were going to beatbox for a moment because you were like,
what the F?
What the wallet?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, when I look at how many different ones I have opened over the last couple of years, I'm not using all of them, but I could definitely see how a crypto enthusiast would have a bunch of them. But there's a lot of people that have just opened one wallet.
Mm-hmm. Well, because a lot of times there's a coin that you want on a certain exchange. It's only on one exchange, like Badcoin. So you got to get a wallet over there, right? You got to get a BOA exchange wallet, and then if you want to get one of these other tokens, if you want to, get some Divi, you got to get the Crex24 wallet, or you got to set up a Bitrue wallet, right? So it's just like a lot of these coins are just specific to particular exchanges, and so you got to set up a wallet there. So it's crazy.
Mm. And if you want to hold Nasgo, you should get the Nasgo wallet, our other sponsor for the show. Nasgo, the GoDaddy of the blockchains. Innovation without complication. That should be a rap. You can beatbox that for me. I'll be like, innovation without complication.
Here's the innovation. Yes, lots of innovation.
They have developed a solution for businesses to get onto the blockchain frontier. Out there, one of them there here frontiers.
I'm really hungry. I need some munchies here, and they're gonna need a munch of the French.
I'm gonna have a seat here in my front chair. No, they have an easy to use wallet. It's got all the tools you need to advance your business without having to spend a bunch. Nasgo is a decentralized network, and it opens up endless opportunities without ending to conduct global e-commerce with trusted blockchain technology immune to a single point of failure. Nasgo connects publishers and developers to a global community of clients who enjoy its simple-to-use solutions. If you want to build a blockchain for your business, go check it out. Go to nasgo.com today and download the app. Gotta see what this thing's all about. Nasgo, do it.
Also in the news, gold, not Bitcoin, is drawing haven demand on U.S. recession fears. Mr. Joel Comm, there's talk about a recession happening, and the U.S. Institute of Supply Management said Tuesday that manufacturing is falling, and they said that it's below 50. It's below 50 overall, and that indicates a contraction in the manufacturing activity. And that data suggests that there's a bloated potential risk of recession in 2020. And there's a nice chart here by popular analyst Holger Zespich. I don't know if he said his name correctly, but
Spitz, I don't know.
Zespich. He's got a chart, and there's a nice correlation, and it shows like when the market crashed in 2001 after 9/11, when the market crashed in 2008, and it looks like we're setting up for that sort of. It's not quite so high yet, but it's getting there, and so there's a potentiality that in 2020 we could have a serious recession. Now, gold has risen recently from $1,460 to $1,500 per ounce. So it's sitting at $1,500 per ounce right now, which might still keep growing, Mr. Joel Comm.
And so you say the economy is bloated? It's like, has it been eating too many beans or something?
Yeah, big time. Yeah, basically what needs to happen is there's too much gas and the economy needs to fart.
Yeah, but don't you know that's bad for the environment, cow farts?
That's true. We're doomed. We're doomed.
We're all going to die. You know what? I'm not concerned. I feel like, so on the surface, the economy is strong. Now, we know that with the Fed in doing the shenanigans they do, that underneath there's some serious problems. But, people are buying stuff. They're spending money. More people are at work than ever before. And I think that the media is creating fear out there. I think that they're stoking the now I know charts also, data doesn't necessarily lie, but whenever people try to predict what's going to happen, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not afraid.
Well, it's good. I would say that, though, the everything bubble will collapse eventually. We've talked about it before. There's a book called The Everything Bubble. Read it. It's really interesting. And you know what? These inflationary economies cannot last forever. They don't last forever. In fact, fiat currency economies are built to eventually crash. That's the point. And at the end of a currency life cycle, there's normally lots and lots of craziness that goes on. And we're starting to see some of that craziness already. And I don't know if we've ever seen craziness like this that we've seen in society today, with so much dissension and division and whatnot. But I do agree with what you said, though. The media does prop up fear. Mostly that's its modus operandi is keep people fearful and riled up and angry at each other, and not mad at the system or not mad at the elites running the system. They want us pointing the finger at each other, so we're mad at each other, not at them.
Grr. I'm so angry at you, Travis. I'm pointing my finger at you.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I like you. I'm good with it.
Thanks,
so, meanwhile, here in the U.S., a number of lawmakers are asking the Federal Reserve about a national digital currency. What would a U.S. dollar digital currency look like? So a letter was provided to the Fed Reserve Board Chairman Jerome Powell by French Hill and Bill Foster, two U.S. representatives, and they expressed concerns that the importance of the U.S. dollar could be in jeopardy from wide adoption of digital fiat currencies. And yes, that's the point. Isn't that the point? That the U.S. dollar is already in trouble. It's not because of cryptocurrencies, though, right? It's because of the dollar.
It is because of fiat currency. It's because of inflationary paper money that they keep printing in perpetuity, right? And the price of everything continues to go up over time. If we had a stable currency that was basically like gold and silver was before fiat currency came around, like the price of everything would be way, way less. Like we'd probably still be buying cars for $5,000 and buying gas for like 30 cents a gallon. But since the price in the economy, the way that it is based on fiat currency, then the price of everything goes up over time because everything's inflationary, and the value of the spending power of your dollar goes down over time, which is the exact opposite of what's happened with Bitcoin, which is why we're so bullish on it.
So the former Federal Reserve official Simon Potter said that proposals to end the U.S. dollar's dominance by replacing it with a digital currency makes no sense. And let me actually read his quote here. I see no argument that makes sense to have something that complicated out there when you have large liquid capital markets in the U.S. Not having one currency that you can basically price things and have a deep market in, that makes life much harder for the global economy. See, he said they say that now, but meanwhile, China is just a few months away from either releasing their plans for their national digital currency. And we're going to be over here. Here we are in this trade war with China, and we're going to be like lagging behind again.
Well, that is one thing that I will say about this administration is that they've been fighting, stuff on all fronts that they've not really been able to focus on the future so much. There's so many fires that the Trump administration has to put out because of all the accusations and all this and all that. Then I really think that in some ways we are slipping behind just because of the nature of the climate that's going on politically in America. And so they're not able to focus on some of these key issues that can keep us strong in the future. It's like the whole idea of this thing is make America great again. But it's like we want to be great in the future. We want to stay great. We want to be a strong country. And fiat currency long term doesn't allow that. So we got to start making plans to find out new solutions, because what's going to happen someday, and this is not even a conspiracy theory, but eventually the U.S. dollar will no longer be the global reserve currency. Every time there's been a global reserve currency going all the way back to the Portuguese back in the 1400s, they reach the pinnacle and then their time is over. And it was the Portuguese and the Dutch, and then the Spanish real, and then the European or the English pound, and then since the 1940s it's been the U.S. dollar, and eventually that's going to go away. It always goes away, and when it does, it's going to be crazy because the world buys their oil with dollars, and so there needs to be a digital equivalent. And really, quite frankly, there already is a digital equivalent. There's mostly just numbers on the screen. Of the 100% of the U.S. dollars that we have, it's like 98 point something percent of them are just numbers on a screen. They're just digits and debt, and they're not really printed out dollars. So we do have digital currency mostly. It's just not decentralized, and they've just not stated that that's the case. But it's not backed by blockchain, that's for sure.
Well, meanwhile, on the other side of the world, there is a country that is now officially the first to have a legal framework for blockchain. And I just like to say the name, Liechtenstein. Ain't that fun?
Say it again then.
Liechtenstein. Won't you be mine? I think you're fine, Liechtenstein. It's a small, tiny country. It's there between Austria and Switzerland. And they've got this blockchain act.
Yeah, so what's interesting is they have a legal framework now for the blockchain industry. Now, what does that mean? Well, blockchain companies need to have better legal frameworks so they can, feel more comfortable. Like there's not a good blockchain legal framework in America for blockchain companies, which is why they're leaving. And so, there was a lot of players involved in forming the Blockchain Act, from Bitcoin Suisse CEO to the founder of Nagali Law, Thomas Nagali. In fact, the prime minister of Liechtenstein also has been working on this act for about 3 years. So they want to become a haven for the blockchain space.
Liechtenstein. I could say it all day. It just makes me happy. I mean, it's more fun to say Liechtenstein than Germany, France, China, Switzerland. Switzerland is a little fun, but Liechtenstein, it's just more fun.
You can just kind of mix them up too. You can go Lichtensteiner. That's how Trump would say it. That's how Trump would say it.
I don't even know. Meanwhile, let's jump into the other side of the world. You know what? There's so I'm actually going to drop another story in here right now, Travis, because I'm on trustnodes.com and I was about to announce the story, but here in the column, there is a question, of course, of who Satoshi is. And people are asking Linus Torvalds, who's the inventor of Linux, if he invented Bitcoin, and he will not say he didn't. So is Linus Torvalds another candidate to be Satoshi Nakamoto?
Well, it's really, really interesting. So no one thought to ask this question, they say in this article, but the first Bitcoin binaries were Windows only. So, if he had made it only in Linux, then maybe that might have been a thing, but maybe he was doing that on purpose. So he says that Torvalds hates C++, which is Bitcoin's coding language. And so, and just as Bitcoin was being invented, Torvalds said this back in 2007, C++ is a horrible language. It's made more horrible by the fact that a lot of substandard programmers use it to the point where it's much, much easier to generate total and utter crap with it. So he doesn't like it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you didn't do it and you're asked, why wouldn't you just say, no, I didn't invent it? Right.
Well, because maybe he wanted to get a little bit of press out of it, because here he is. He said he didn't confirm nor deny. And so now here we are talking about Linus Torvalds.
This is an interesting article. You guys might want to pick this up in the show notes along with all the other links. It seems to be a fairly lengthy read, and we have not read it. I just spotted it. But if you'll go to badco.in/316, you will find the link to this story as well as all of the stories we're referencing today in the show notes. But here's the article that I got distracted from, and this is around Block.one, which is the company behind EOS. Remember, they raised billions of dollars in their ICO starting in 2017 in just over a year, and the American SEC brought charges against them, and basically they've settled for $24 million, which is nothing compared to the amount of money that they raised. I mean, they raised $4 billion, and it says that there was a violation of securities regulations there, and their penalty is $24 million.
Yeah, so that goes to show, folks, the ICO market should kick back on. Let's all raise shitloads of money because we're only going to have a very small fine, really. Okay, $4 billion. And then, that's the same sort of crap that happens with big banks, too. Have you noticed that? Like, they do all this penalty. They do all these penalties. They get all this stuff, and they get fined like just such small amounts. Like, they end up hosing some of their customers, end up making billions and billions of dollars. Like, oh, we got to slap you on the hand. Here's a $20 million fine. And you're like, what? We just made $4 billion, and we have a $24 million fine. I don't know. I would do that all day.
So the settlement has to do with the original EOS token, which was an ERC20 token, right? So when they did their fundraise, they sold on the Ethereum blockchain, but that token has been swapped. And since it's no longer in circulation or traded, it means the token doesn't have to be registered as a security. So according to this article, the settlement resolves all ongoing matters between Block.one and the SEC. And maybe now, we can get some news out of Block.one about EOS Voice. I mean, come on, guys. We even started a podcast called the EOS Voice News, and we've only gotten to episode 2 of it because there's no freaking news. Can you please say something?
And maybe that was the deal. Think about this, Mr. Cholcomb. Their fine to the SEC was $6 million less than them buying the voice.com domain name.
Right. Yeah, they spent $30 million on voice.com, and they better do something with it. So, Travis, we're going to see some of the EOS team at an EOS event that takes place Vegas Blockchain Week. It's time for some investigative journalism. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it doesn't mean that you take hearsay and report it as news like the mainstream media does today. An anonymous source told an anonymous source that another anonymous source had mac and cheese for dinner. You know, that's not news.
Yes, it is. Mac and cheese is delicious.
It is delicious, but anonymous sources are not news, gang. So real journalism means that you
know what that
have
is?
a primary source.
That's actually gossip. What's weird is that our news has turned into gossip. It's like watching National Enquirer or TMZ. And I think in some cases TMZ is more accurate than a lot of the mainstream news. It's just crazy what's happened. And again, it all boils down to the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. If you've never read it, go do research on it. 2012, Smith-Mundt, M-U-N-D-T. That basically said that the news could use propaganda and lie to us legally. And that's what happens. And here's where we are. Here's a piece of news that I find is interesting that may or may not be fake news. But the CEO of Bixy, B-E-A-X-Y, disappears as the exchange struggles to remain solvent. Like they cannot find the CEO. Like he's gone dark. They've had some hacks. They've had some internal mismanagement. And they say that the exchange is maybe on its last legs. And the CEO is nowhere to be found.
So we had Artak on Bad Crypto back in, episode Spotlight number 42. So it would have been August 16th, 2018. He was on the show to talk about the exchange, and they were trying to be an all-in-one crypto exchange, but it looks like solvency has become an issue. It's really unusual when somebody just completely drops off the radar, and as a result, the price of Bixy volume went up and the price dropped like 50%. However, there's an update to this article, Travis.
Yeah, this just happened. This actually, literally, the update just occurred.
While we've been recording. His Twitter account, Artak Hamazaspian. It's a long name. His Twitter account replied to a random user to affirm that he is here and was gone to a family emergency. So maybe not, could be fake news, don't know. But
first tweet in 3 weeks.
Yeah. So is that, was that a reliable source or not? Is Bixy done? We don't know, but it is, sensational news definitely is interesting, even if it's fake.
Well, one thing we do know is that the BXY token has plummeted in value. So it was sitting around a little over 2 cents, and now it's way under 1 cent. So it has gone down substantially. Interesting.
Libra remains in the news from Facebook, and from them directly, the Facebook Libra nodes are now live on the pre-mainnet, and they are on track with their roadmap. Quote from the roadmap says, launching the test net has allowed the team to quickly improve Libra core by making it easy to troubleshoot, diagnose, and resolve software edge cases. The test net demonstrates Libra network functionality and provides early access to developers. Following the test net, we hope to have a successful launch of the Libra mainnet. And so they're moving forward regardless, what regulators say, but they're still having issues with regulators, and our other stories, Mr. Travis Wright, are surrounding that issue.
That's very true. And the thing is that we've talked about this. Even if America says, no, you can't do it, well, they'll just pack up and move to an island somewhere, move to Malta, right? Like I could foresee that happening where they claim that their headquarters is there and they just have a satellite office in Silicon Valley or something or whatever. But so there's even if regulators tell them no, there's still going to be ways around it. There's going to be countries that do allow them to do it. And some of these American banking giants, though, who have said that they're going to be part of Libra, in other news, they said, well, maybe we won't. They're becoming more non-committal. They're saying, I don't know if we're going to be part of this or not.
Yeah, there's both banks as well as MasterCard and Visa are reconsidering Libra because of the criticism around regulation. And they don't want to deal with the criticism, right? They want to have smooth sailing for what they're doing. But apparently PayPal is now unsure about signing up. And Facebook is pushing back the launch as well.
Well, there was also a conversation that was leaked from Zuckerberg rallying his troops there at Facebook, talking about some of this stuff. and they're going to keep pushing through. They're going to keep focused on it. He also said that one of the things that I thought was interesting was that he said that if Warren becomes president, that's going to suck because he wants to try to smack Facebook, break it apart. Because they have Instagram and WhatsApp and some other platforms and stuff, and now they're going to do Libra, so they're like, well, maybe they need to be broken apart. And so it was a really interesting. If you've had a chance to listen to that leaked video or leaked audio that's come through from that, it shares a lot of interesting things. But they're going to keep moving forward. They're going to keep doing the Libra thing. They're just trying to be more cautious now and not trying to ruffle too many feathers.
Mm-hmm. Well, use cases are really key to continued adoption. And I'm not really all that familiar with Cardano, but a major retailer, manufacturer, New Balance shoes, has announced that they're going to be using Cardano to confirm product authenticity. See, that's the type of stuff that we need to see. We need to see real world implementation of blockchain being used by Fortune 500 companies. That is what, for me, secures the future of blockchain. Yeah,
and think about that though. New Balance. Like, I don't know that I've ever thought of anybody, having a pair of fake New Balances. Like, if you're going to, have some swag. I mean, I like New Balance. They're comfortable. I have wide feet, so New Balance are really comfortable. But it would make more sense to me because the sneaker business has become really big, right? And there's a lot of sneakerheads out there, and some people are paying ridiculous amounts for some of these sneakers. I think that more so, instead of New Balance right off the line, are these authentic or not? I want to know, are these pair of 1998 Jordans? Are these legit? Right? Are these so? I mean, I think that's the whole sneaker industry. Nike specifically needs to jump on board on confirming product authenticity, because I think there's more fake Nikes out there than maybe anyone else, just because of the Jordan brand and LeBron and some of those other shoes out there. You can see how, China does some knockoffs on those. I've actually been to Shanghai, where there's a mall that has all these knockoffs of all these brands, and they're indistinguishable because these are actually the factories that make the real product, and they have overages, and then they just sell the overages in this mall inside Shanghai, and the prices are just ridiculous. I got a couple pair of Oakleys when I was there that they actually took the lenses out and made me prescription frames right there. So I had a badass pair of Oakley sunglasses and a pair of Dolce & Gabbana. They're beautiful. They're exactly the same because they're made in the exact same factory. They're just not part of the sanctioned 50,000 order that company did. So maybe what happens is they say, okay, we have enough fabric or enough material to make 55,000, and you want 50,000. So then they give the company the 50,000. They have these 5,000 extra ones that they made, and then they just sell them in the black market. So they're really official, but they're not official, which is weird.
I think the problem might be bigger than you would estimate, because when I looked up fake New Balance shoes, there is a ton of articles out there. And apparently celebrities like Kanye West, Gigi Hadid, and Cara Delevingne have been seen wearing New Balance shoes with their outfits. And so when people see that, fake companies make all kinds of false versions. And there's a number of sites out here that show how to identify fake New Balance shoes by the packaging, the box, the label, the logo, the sole, the shoe tongue. You could use an ultraviolet light to see a logo on the back of the tongue that you wouldn't see necessarily in a knockoff. And so, I applaud them for trying to solve the problem. They don't want no fake news, no fake shoes.
You know what? I like wearing New Balance. They're very comfortable. Of all the tennis shoes that I've worn, I mean, I have some flat feet. I have some Fred Flintstone feet, so New Balance really work well for me. So, cool deal. Crypto and New Balance.
Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're the Yabba Dabba family. From the advisory department of the show, and our sponsor eToro recently tweeted that they are welcoming Peloton, which is their fitness company, right? Isn't Peloton? Don't they make fitness gear?
They make those bikes. They have Peloton classes.
Yeah.
They have those bikes, which is great. I got one. You know what? I bought it during, I think, January of 2018 when crypto was good, and I bought one. and I bet I've used that thing 10 times maybe. The thing is that it's such a waste because it's like it has a big video screen on it, but you can only watch Peloton classes. Like I would like to sit there and watch Mr. Robot. Like if
the
I could,
Flintstones.
I'd like to sit there and watch a show that I would watch a sporting event with the thing on there because it's got a big screen on it. It's nice, but it only connects to Peloton racing. And I think now there's some new hacks that have come out and that have happened where you can access Netflix and whatever. But it's like, yeah, they should have actually came with that. Like, hey, have Peloton be an app that I can just watch this on here, or if I want to watch a TV show, I can do that. I would use it a hell of a lot more if I could have different things of different entertainment.
Well, after the IPO, apparently eToro is listing them on the platform. And it looks like from Divi, Nick Saponaro, who's been on the show multiple times, and we are advisors for DiviProject.org, he said, we're now testing Divi SMS in 4 different countries and prepared to take the initiative to production. African and South American countries will be the focus. And so this is great. SMS your Divi tokens. My masternodes, they're still doing their thing. Masternoding away.
And you know what? That's really interesting. And I love these solutions that are doing these kind of things. Like if you're able to start receiving crypto just by receiving a text message to your phone number, that's huge. Like when we were in Bali and we were sitting down with the CEO of MobiPay. We sat down and he goes, oh, well, let me send you some crypto. And I'm like, okay, well, let me download the wallet. He goes, no, don't worry about it. What's your phone number? And I'm like, here's my phone number. And like, boom, sent me an SMS text, right? SMS. And then I opened it up and then I went over and set up a wallet right from that. And then it knew that it was my phone number. And so it had my crypto attached to it. I think that kind of ease of use stuff is so handy because who wants to know like, yeah, send me some crypto at 3GZ59RT3, and here's this huge long character. Or you already have my phone number and you already have my email. You could literally send us MobiPay to either one of those, which is way.
Yeah, Mobi was on a recent episode. You guys might want to go back and listen to that. We've been talking to them. We think there could be some big things ahead. And also, Nasgo's Amico wallet works the same way. All you need is your phone number, and it verifies it to your phone. You log in, and you've got instant access. You don't have to have this major wallet address.
Yeah, and those are the types of tools that we really find that we gravitate towards. Tools that have potential mass adoption capabilities. Like what's the tool going to be that just sets the world on fire and makes everyone adopt crypto? I think that's the one. Fire in a good way, right? We don't want the world to be on fire in a bad way. We want crypto to take off. And so that's what we do is we really look for those ones that have that mass adoption appeal.
Let it burn. Burn, baby, burn. No. I was just going to say, now I need to add another song to the Bad Crypto playlist. And so if you guys aren't following
how many songs are on that, by the way?
Let me take a look right now. I'm going to add Disco Inferno to it as we speak. And the Bad Crypto song list on Spotify, which I believe there is a short link for it, but it's not /Spotify because that will take you to Spotify itself. I can't remember what I set for the playlist, but there's 32 songs on it right now. Uh-huh. And I'm sure we've mentioned well over, 100 or so on the show. It's just that we didn't start building this playlist until August of this year. So hope you guys enjoy the Bad Crypto song list. I can't actually
find it. So what is the Bad Crypto song list called?
So the URL to see it is badco.in/playlist. And this is like, these are the songs that we like, because basically whenever there's a song reference on the show, it's because one of us has been triggered, to say a lyric or sing a phrase.
That's true. Looks like there's 32 songs on there currently. We've mentioned way more than that, but looks like we've not, a lot of those older episodes, we have not got those in there.
So if you happen to listen to an older episode, you hear a song that's not there, it's a public list. You can go ahead and stop, collaborate, and listen and drop that song onto the playlist, and then we'll all be able to stay bad.
Who's bad?
The Bad Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor.